Online, on Radio Player, and on 106.6 FM. This is Wycombe Sound, the Wycombe Wanderers Show.
Good evening, welcome to the latest edition of the Wycombe Wanderers Show. Quite a bit's happened since we last spoke.
Yes, indeed. I'm quite impressed that the Arsenal man, he's rung round all of the Premier League clubs. Who exactly has he got through to? What if you accidentally ring the club shop or something and say, oh, hello, it's the Arsenal owner here. I just want to apologise for basically throwing football into complete disarray this week.
It's the Wycombe Wanderers Show. In the next hour, we'll be chatting about what seems like a long time ago now, but going 2-0 up against Swansea, but ending with a draw.
Yeah, well, it's still, a wonderful result. We would have probably taken that beforehand.
Oh, definitely.
Or certainly before the days where actually we needed to win every game towards the end of the season. But yeah, 2-0 up against Swansea. Who saw that coming?
No, exactly. That's a very good question. Ring in now if you did see that coming. Perhaps you have money on it. That'd be quite exciting. Coming up a little later on, we'll be hearing from Akinfenwa for reasons which may appear obvious.
Yes, indeed. Not that we're condoning gambling, by the way, but yes, indeed. If you did have some money on Bayo as the goal scorer last night, the winning goal scorer. Oh, goodness me! Well, what an evening it was. Yes, we will also be reflecting on the 2-1 victory against Bristol City, and again, I don't think many of us saw that one coming, or certainly not to the end of the game, anyway.
And you were there, of course.
Oh, yes, I know. I was very, very lucky. So, first game that I have been to since Christmas, and I know that I'm lucky to have gone to any games at all this season. And it was a fantastic atmosphere in those last couple of minutes. Just everybody who was of a Wycombe persuasion in the ground really did, get behind them and did make it sound almost like there were fans there when the ball hit the back of the net.
And also coming up in this edition of the programme, we'll be hearing from the last person to be able to call himself a former Wycombe Wanderers manager and the man who brought the current Blues boss to the club as a player and is now, of course, leading them in the Championship, Gary Waddock.
Really looking forward to that, and long may he be the last person to be able to call himself the former Wycombe Wanderers manager.
Absolutely. But first, as somebody once said,
it is going to be a tough road to hoe.
I just realised how quiet that was. But
it's all right. Pete was he recorded that in bed apparently. Didn't want to wake anybody up.
Or just a long way away.
Yes, yeah. Well, it has been a tough road to hoe, hasn't it?
It has, but at the same time, I think in a strange way, quite enjoyable.
Exactly that. I think it has been very enjoyable. I think it started off being a very tough road and a rocky road, when we were sitting there for those 7 games without a win. But actually since then, it's been pretty good fun. And
yes, you've heard of the Magnificent Seven. This was...
Yeah, exactly. It was slightly the reverse of that. But the fact that we're now sitting here, with 9 championship wins, it has been brilliant. It has been really, really good. 9 wins, 10 draws. That's I think probably better than a lot of people thought that we would do at the beginning of the season.
And to be 6 points from safety as well, it just looks so much better than 9, which is obvious, I suppose, when you say it. But to say it out loud, 6 points is much better than 12.
Yes.
It's better than a lot of things, to be honest. But
I mean, it will be absolutely wonderful, won't it? If we are clearly, obviously, it will be wonderful if we manage to stay up. But if that doesn't happen, if that miracle doesn't happen, it would still be brilliant to either finish 22nd or 23rd. That'll be a complete achievement. To get over the 40-point barrier, that would be an amazing achievement. And I think just actually where we are anyway, the fact that we are still fighting, we haven't yet been relegated, and there's only 3 games of the season to go. I think if you'd ask most football fans at the beginning of the season, they probably would have said that Wycombe would have been relegated probably by the end of March. And the fact that we're coming up to the end of April and we're still hanging in there is absolute credit to Gareth and to the whole team.
And as you say, at this stage, what an exciting end to the season, because you don't want, with several games to go, just the relegation's confirmed as it is in some leagues.
No, exactly. We're still in there. We're still fighting. As Luke mentioned on Drive Time when he was chatting to us before, Gareth is the sort of person, he's not going to admit that actually, until it is absolutely mathematically impossible for us to stay up, he's not going to say, oh, right, okay, yes, we've had it. And you can see why. because we are Wycombe Wanderers and we do these incredible and very, very surprising things, and who knows yet over the next few weeks whether or not we might be able to almost top all of the other achievements that Gareth has so far managed to pull off in his time as manager.
As David Stockdale said post-match last night, this is so Wycombe.
Yeah, exactly that. And we all knew exactly what he meant when he said it. It didn't need any explanation whatsoever. It was just like, this is so Wycombe. Well, yeah, it was. And last night, definitely. It was a game of not very much incident until that last 2 minutes, and you sort of thought, okay, it looks like probably, it's going to be a draw. And then all of a sudden, goodness me, what absolute drama in those last couple of minutes.
We'll reflect more on last night's fantastic event at Adams Park. Still to come on the programme, but first, let's cast you back to Saturday and manager Gareth Ainsworth speaking to Matt after the game at Swansea.
Gareth, an enthralling 90 minutes, really. The second half in particular, it came to life. What's your overriding emotion after that comeback from Swansea there?
Absolute pride in my boys, to come here. What a stadium, what a football club, and to compete the way we did. And honestly, I'm hoping Steve said nice things, because we really did take them all the way. It's a freak penalty, that gets them back in it. I actually think the one in the first half is a penalty. How many times am I going to say this? And I'm sure the boys will be looking at it on TV tonight and debating whether it was or it wasn't. Jason McCarthy's definitely is, but he slipped, and it's just so unfortunate. It gives Swansea that glimmer of hope, gets them the foot in the door, and the difference sometimes is that ball, the cross that came in for the second goal, on the button, undefendable if they get it right. Fair play to them. But we went down the other end. We could have scored. We could have won this game today. Really proud. Really, really proud. Looking forward to seeing what we can do with this squad in future. And I'm not just talking the next 4 games. We can get 46 points. I want 46 points. There's 3 other teams got to get that yet. But I'm talking the year and year after that, because we're building something special here. And this would have been a one-off League Cup or FA Cup tie years ago. Today it's been a league game, and I think Wycombe Wanderers have gained a lot of respect in Wales.
Early in the season you lost 5-0 to Blackburn and 2-0 to Swansea in a game where they were clearly a better side than Wycombe at that time, but the last few weeks have shown that Wycombe can adapt to the level, and if it is too late this year, the chance to start next year with this squad must be an exciting prospect.
Oh, do you know what excites me? And some teams have started really well and then faded away. We've learned, and we've constantly learned and improved. So if we keep doing that, we're on the right track. We're going to come. That first 7 games was a lesson. This club's been in the lower leagues for 133 years. First 7 games, give us a break. We're learning. And now towards the end of the season, I wish the season had started 3 months ago, not 9 months ago, because we would really have an opportunity to make our mark. We've learned. Is it too late? Let's find out. But I tell you what, we'll be back here one day. Can't wait.
You've gone toe-to-toe with pretty much all the promotion chasers twice now. Norwich have earned their place in the Premier League today, and Swansea clearly look like they could be a strong side in the playoffs if they don't make that second place as well.
Congratulations, Daniel Farker. What a top guy, and nice to have a semi-long head manager in the Premiership as well, so he's a big fan of that. But we're really looking forward to competing now against your Bournemouths, your Middlesbroughs, your Cardiffs. These are FA Cup runs in the past for Wycombe Wanderers. These are league games now. We're really looking forward to getting stuck in. Swansea have a big chance of getting promoted this season. That playoffs is going to be crazy at the end of the year, and I have to say, Steve Cooper, what a great guy. What a really nice fella, and knew his dad well, and he's just the same top guy, and I wish him all the best. But I've got to pick my boys up now for Wednesday. Bristol City coming to town, and again we'll give absolutely everything for this club, and I love being the manager.
And we know what happened next.
They did give absolutely everything, didn't they?
And it was, as you say, but just briefly on it said Sunderland, Swansea. It was so fantastic to go 2-0 up against such a team, A, in great form, but B, obviously pushing for promotion, whereas our team lowly at the foot of the table.
Yeah, absolutely. To go 2-0 up shortly after half-time. Admiral Musgrave scoring after how many seconds was it? It didn't take very long to get that opening goal after the break. Then Gareth McCleary scoring as well. Just a shame, obviously, Swansea then getting the penalty, and then managing to get the equaliser as well. I sort of felt that once they got the penalty that probably the writing was on the wall. But on another day, in those early 7 games, we probably would have conceded a third and we would have lost that game. So the fact that actually we managed to ensure that we still picked up what could proved to be a very, very valuable point at the end of the season, was important.
I must say a very thank you to Gareth, his staff, and all the players for last night, because if you've had a particularly tough week, perhaps you've been covering a major breakaway European club tournament, perhaps, or
would that be you?
or if your week's not been going that well, to get that result last night was just made everything fantastic again.
It just was, that's why we love football. That's why it's so good. That's why, it's real. As I think Bayo also said last night, you don't need your Super Leagues. You've got all of the drama that you need in the Championship, in the Football League. Sorry, I'm not even going to call it the EFL, because I think that's, that's too much of a nod towards sort of like Super Leaguedom. We should be proud of what we've got in the Football League. It's the oldest league in the world. It's the best league. It's fantastic that anybody on their day can beat anybody, as we have proved time and again this season.
But the unpredictability of it as well, you'd imagine going a goal behind that you'd think, oh, that's it now. But
yeah, definitely. Yeah, last night, that's, again, how I felt really watching it, was thinking, we've done so well recently when we've got the early goal. Had we got the early goal against Bristol City, I could have seen that their heads probably would have dropped. They're clearly in terrible, terrible form. The fact that they got it, and goodness me, it was a fantastic goal. Just thinking, what a shame. Is everything basically going to come to an end sort of this evening, and then the game against Cardiff as well. But the fact that we actually managed to come back from that, and as I say, just did not see that last couple of minutes coming. It was a fantastic effort from the whole team as well last night. I mean, Admiral and Uchi were absolutely brilliant for the whole time that they were on the pitch, caused Bristol City no end of problems in the first half. Slightly ironic that actually they weren't on the pitch for the end, when all of the excitement happened.
Did it feel like there was a bit of a gear change as well, especially during after equalising?
Yes, yeah. I mean, it looked more like one of those games where either, but both teams were definitely trying to win the game, which was brilliant to see. But at the same time, I wasn't necessarily really expecting that, I had sort of settled already in my mind thinking, all right, okay, well, another point, that's not brilliant, but that's okay. And then all of a sudden, you notice, right, okay, we've got a corner and David Stockdale's going up. And so, of course, straight away you're interested, and you start to wonder, well, goodness me, again, to quote David Stockdale, this would be a very Wycombe thing to go and do now for the goalkeeper to score. Now, okay, he didn't quite manage that. But the volley that then led to the penalty that was his was such a sort of a goalkeeper type volley, but it was a wonderful, wonderful thing to witness.
So we'll hear from the manager in a few moments' time, but after the final whistle, you might have seen a little earlier on today the club tweeted some coverage of Bayo being greeted by, well, most of the team, to be honest, including David Stockdale and the manager as well.
You, man! Oh, snap! It's you, man! This is what the club's about. This is what the club... Put me up front, son. Put me up front. Hey, what a man. Hey, big man. I thought you was going to score. On my life, I thought you was going to score. You, man. God, bless him, God. I had two on target as well. Left foot, right foot. You got a championship goal, man. That's what club's about. Lord God, it took time, but also still.
So you talk to us.
Hey, it's a Mazzoline. Finally, yeah. I don't know how many games into it, but it took 22 decades to get a championship goal. Blessings. Had a win.
What a fantastic kind of image, if you like, although you can't see it clearly.
But you can see, you can imagine
feel
the whole thing.
Yeah.
You really can. It just goes to show actually what it meant and what it means to the players. Just absolutely wonderful. And the fact that Bayo has now got a championship goal, that was definitely becoming one of the narratives, really, was the fact that, he hadn't yet scored in the championship. Clearly we were running out of games for that to happen. And it would have been such a shame if he hadn't managed to have done so, because clearly he has managed to score in every other division that he's played. So the fact that he can now chalk that one off and say, well, yeah, I have got a championship goal to my name. And as I say, you can hear what it meant to all of the players. You can hear what it meant to David Stockdale, to Gareth as well, to Matt Cecil, to everybody, the whole club, I think, as well. There was such a feeling around the whole club yesterday. Everybody of a Wycombe persuasion was grinning after the game. The only people who were not particularly happy were the Bristol City, of the Bristol City persuasion. In particular, it has to be said, Nigel Pearson, who definitely had his slightly scary persona on after the game.
Don't run across Nigel Pearson.
Definitely not. The whole thing that they say about him, the fact that he's able to wrestle wolves or whatever it is, I could see a bit of that last night. I think the wolves in the Sands area were probably slightly concerned and probably decided to move out for the night in case Nigel decided that he fancied going and having a bit of wrestling with them.
I'm sure the pheasants made themselves quite scarce as well, and the partridges.
Yes, definitely. He just, and I mean, completely understandable as well, because, and hearing a little bit of what he said, I didn't actually interview him, but, he was just so frustrated at the way that, once again, his team had thrown points away. And you do think, for Bristol City, it does just seem to keep repeating season on season, where they get themselves into these really good positions where you think, oh yeah, they look like they're going to go up, and then they somehow spectacularly blow it.
We'll hear from Bayer before the end of the show, but first, Bob spoke to Gareth after the game.
3 games to go, and we're still kicking and alive.
Absolutely, this isn't over yet, and I'm so proud of the boys tonight. They never stop believing, they never stop pushing, even with a fantastic goal from Bakinson from Bristol City. Deserved to win any game, but tonight it wasn't going to be, because my boys needed this. We knew we did, and I'm really pleased that it was a whole squad that won this game tonight. Really pleased and proud of them as always.
And I want to say that back to you, because so many Wycombe fans this season at Wycombe Sound have been saying to us, just how fantastic it is what the club are doing, how proud of them that they are, and how proud of you.
Well, one day honestly, one day we'll be able to sit back and just realise what we actually did with this football club, and I think it's phenomenal. I always will do. I love this place. Just special club, You go up, supporting Blackburn, and I played a long time at QPR, and them 2 clubs mean a hell of a lot, as well as Preston, my debut and everything. But Wycombe is right up there with them, because it's just been a phenomenal journey, from playing, managing and surviving and promotions, and nights like tonight, honestly, I just absolutely devastated the fans aren't here to see that, because they deserve it. And you know what, it's my job to make sure they get these nights in the Championship again, whether it's next year or the year after. I am focused on making that dream happen, because they've supported me through thick and thin. Love them all, and like I say, wish they were here tonight, but I'm sure a few of them might have heard the noises coming from the bench. It was a brilliant ending to the game, and Akinfenwa's got his championship goal.
Yeah, just talk us through those last couple of minutes again, with Stockdale going up and then Bayo taking the penalty.
Jacobson with his twisted knee, I don't know how he's took the corner, he's managed to whip it in brilliantly. David Stockdale said to me, "Gaffer, can I go up?" And I said, yes, get up there, without a hesitation of thought. The rebound falls to Stockdale, he hits it on target, it rebounds out, it comes back to Stockdale, he hits one of the worst volleys I've seen, the slowest volleys I've seen, which probably flummoxed all the defenders, and that's what's caused the handball, and the ref gives a penalty. And you think it's over then, but no, it's not, because the normal penalty taker, Jacobson's on the pitch, he's took the corner, so you think he's okay, and then Akinfenwa picks the ball up and spots it, and I'm thinking, what's going on here? And I just let him to it, and that's the trust I put in these boys. They're a fantastic group, and like I say, what a great penalty, what a fantastic penalty. Really pleased for him, and I'm sure that I'll live long in Bale's memory. He deserves it. We won't be at any of these levels without him or Jacobson, and let's say, really proud tonight, and boys deserve all the credit they get.
So true about Bayo, and also about JJ as well. Such fantastic servants for the club. And you think back to when Bayo signed for us, and people thinking that actually, it was just almost a sort of celebrity signing. And look what he's done for Wycombe Wanderers, and continues to do at the age of 39. Very, very impressive. Fantastic to hear Gareth paying tribute to both of them.
Yeah, especially, and Joe Jacobson as well. When you consider what he's contributed, and he's obviously one of the generals as well.
Yeah, just a fantastic player, got so much skill. I think it's occasionally slightly overlooked, really, but just what he brings to the side, his set piece delivery is fantastic. He does such a good job back in defence. Lovely guy as well. Really, really pleased for him. Really, really pleased for Bayo. Just what a fantastic night it was.
Mr. Stockdale, of course, deserves huge praise as well. Not just for being a goalkeeper, but his character as well. I mean, they say goalkeepers are a character anyway, but just the things he sort of does and says, and is so generous.
He clearly loved it as well. I like the fact that he was then saying, he had 2 shots on target, one with the left, one with the right. He's been absolutely outstanding. Whenever we talk about Stocko, I do always then, have a thought as well for Ryan Alsop, who really, through no fault of his own, has not actually managed to reclaim the goalkeeper's jersey this season, because he was brilliant until he got injured as well. If we could have a combined Player of the Season award, I think Alsop and Stockdale would completely deserve it.
No, definitely. I mean, there are so many sort of contenders, I suppose, for all sorts of awards, some of which we could actually make up ourselves.
Well, yes. Well, maybe we will do that in the last week of the Wycombe Wanderers show after that Middlesbrough game.
Yes.
You never know. Or maybe we'll be celebrating too hard to actually come up with the awards.
We've also got, I can see from here, pinned up in the office, our predictions to where we thought Wycombe would end up this season, to reveal those as well.
I think we'll be lucky if we manage to get... I think we'd need some of those 6 clubs who were meant to be in terrible financial difficulty to actually, to have points deducted for my prediction to come correct. But then I haven't managed to get a prediction correct all season, as Rob Lesbrance will tell you. So yes, don't be expecting my prediction to be anywhere particularly near.
Coming up next on the Wycombe Wanderers show, we'll hear from former manager Gary Waddock.
This is Wycombe Sound.
Still to come on the final part of the Wycombe Wanderers show, we'll be hearing from the man of the week. Well, it's not just the week. Gareth Akinfenwa as well, speaking after the game last night against Bristol City. But first, I must say a very big thank you to Matt at the club for facilitating, I think that's a word, our next guest, because he is the former manager. He brought Gareth to the club, and he was in charge for around 3 years at Adams Park. Oversaw, relegation first, but then promotion as well. And as I say, had some very enjoyable sort of, as he says, sort of yo-yo time at the club. But I'm sure if you recall the current boss being brought to the club, you'll remember the general feelings of Gary Waddock, and it was fantastic to speak to him and, as I say, get his reflections on his time at the club.
Yeah, I enjoyed my time at the club. It was a good period for me in terms of a good experience. I stepped up to that level, and it was a bit up and down with obviously what happened there, a bit of a yo-yo period that the club had at that time where, come down, went up and come back down again. So, but overall, I really enjoyed it.
So it must have been such an exciting time because, as you say, you'd been at the conference, in the conference before. You were conference manager of the year, in fact, with all the shots. So it must be so nice for you to have that opportunity to step up.
Yeah, we had a real good time at Aldershot, gaining promotion. We had a real good group of players there, and, behind the scenes, the people there were very, very good. But, the opportunity came around and, obviously I took it, and it was a step up the pyramid. And, to manage at that level, it was great, and, I inherited a good group of players after Peter Taylor. And, as I said earlier there, I really enjoyed it.
What were your first impressions when you arrived at the club?
Well, the facilities there, obviously I knew about the facilities beforehand anyway, with the stadium itself, the group of players that were there, they were, a good group of players for that level. But, I met some really good people, Steve Hayes and, Andy Pelly as well. I met during my period there, and, Steve bringing me into the club, I had a real good relationship with him with the period of time that we were together there. So, I've got fond memories.
It must be really pleasing as well that you're able to bring in a number of players that you'd worked with previously as well.
I think a lot of managers do that, the players that they worked with previously, they always go back, especially if they've done well for you. And, a number of them players had done well for me previously. So it was always good. They knew how I wanted the team to play, how we wanted to operate. And as I said, a lot of managers do that.
I mean, players like Dave Winford and Andy Sandell, and especially Scott Donnelly as well, as you say, did really well for you during that time. Yeah,
a few of them have, Scotty was at QPR as well, and Gareth coming as well during that period of time. So them players I had good relationships with as well, and as I said there, they knew how I worked and how I operated, and it was easy then to bring them in. Well, easier to bring them into the club.
I was going to say, I don't think we should really gloss over the fact that you just said Gareth was brought in. We'll want to mention that in some detail. How did that sort of come about? Was he someone that you sort of, obviously your QPR connection?
Yeah, I'd known Gaz for a long time, and it's quite funny really, because when Gaz came into the club, I said to Steve Hayes, he'll be your next manager, and I'm absolutely delighted for him. What he's actually gone on and achieved for the football club has been fantastic. Alongside Richard Dobson, two great guys, and he's been in charge for since I departed the club, so he's been fantastic for the football club, and as I said there, I said he was going to be the next manager, and what a fantastic job he's done for the club.
I was going to say, when he was a player, did he have the same sort of characteristics? Obviously so positive and inspires players and leads them so well as well. Oh,
definitely. And when we brought him into the club, it was a case of we knew what we were going to get. We knew how he would be in the dressing room, and he's no different now. He wears his heart on his sleeve as such. He's a real honest guy. He gives 100% whatever he does, on the playing field when he was playing, and it's no different now when he's in that technical area. He gives everything during every game. He kicks every football, and he's been a great success.
As you say, it was kind of sort of up and down, well, more down and up really, during your time. I guess, was it really disappointing to be relegated in your first season?
When I come in, we were where we were in the table. We had a real strong finish, and in many ways, if the season would have gone on longer, we could have got out of that situation we were in. But as I said, there was a yo-yo period for the club. It was always going to be difficult, but even though we went down, it was great that we were able to bounce back up again. So massive credit to Steve and the players for being able to help me achieve that.
I was going to say, it must have been such a fantastic feeling to have earned promotion. It's exactly virtually sort of 10 years ago as well, and to do it on the final day against Southend as well.
Yeah, it was, especially how it came about as well. We went into the game, we knew what we needed, and we went a goal behind in that game. If I can remember that far back, 10 years ago. But we were able then to see the game through, and the atmosphere afterwards, with the home supporters was fantastic. And I think everybody that was, associated or involved in that game will never forget it.
And is that something that really stands out, especially, I guess, when they get promoted to the Championship as well? That must have brought back memories for you.
Well, it's great, for Wycombe to go on and, be playing in the Championship is a fantastic achievement. And, credit must go to Gaz, Dobbo and his backroom staff, along with the players, to do that. The budgets that they've had to come up against in the period of time, League 2, League 1, and now in the Championship, are poles apart. And to go on and achieve what they've done is great. And it's not all about money. It's about your recruitment, bringing the players together, buying into what you want to do. And obviously for Gaz and Dobbo, the group of players that they've had in that period of time have done that. But they have to buy into it. Gaz is very enthusiastic the way he wants to go about his work, and he's got a good number two alongside him. So I keep saying it, but it's been an unbelievable achievement for him.
But he and the rest of the club, and perhaps even during your time as well, seem to love the underdog tag and just having backs against the wall and really not being favoured in games, and that seems to really help.
Well, it does, but as I say, players have to buy into that. Nobody would have said Wycombe would play in the Championship, but they have. They've done brilliant to get to that level, and right at this moment in time, they're fighting away and they're giving a real good account of themselves. In the last number of games, they've picked up a lot of points, and again, if the season would go on a little bit longer, who knows what could happen? And even now they're fighting away, and nobody knows what the outcome will be, because you just don't know with Gaz in charge what the outcome could be.
I was going to say, so you get so many games like earlier on in the season losing 5-0 to Blackburn, and then to win against them in the return fixture. It's so sort of typical, if you like, of a Wycombe display and a Wycombe kind of turn of fortunes, if you like.
Yeah, and I think as well, going into the new campaign earlier on in the season, it's going into the unknown, and everybody had to find their feet. And, coming up against them sides, massive clubs, massive budgets, and now competing against them sides is a different outcome. So everybody's got used to the level. And as I say, unfortunately, there's not enough games left at the moment. If there was, who knows what the outcome could well be.
It's been fantastic, though, to see the games and the chances created. And, they've not lost heavily in too many of the games. And obviously, as you know, the Championship is so tight anyway. Yeah,
but everybody's adapted to that level now. They're used to it. I speak to Dobbo and Gaz regularly, and tactically, with the players that they come up against as well, they're better quality players. The level's so much higher than, League One and League Two. And everybody's now adapted to it. They're coping better with it. And the results are improving. So, again, great credit to everybody for doing that.
It must be so exciting as well as someone, sort of looking from afar, if you like, to see, the Couigs coming in and the sort of financial stability of the club and the players that Gareth's been able to bring in both, permanently and on loan as well. How sort of exciting it must be for the future.
Well, the investment into the club is, obviously encouraging. The recruitment side has been very, very good with the players that they brought in, and obviously with the contacts that Gaz has and Dobbo, that also helps. But if they stay in the Championship, they'll be better for it. If the club go down, they'll be very, very competitive, I'm sure at the top end of League One. And, whatever the outcome is, it's a hell of a journey that the club have been on.
And just going back to your time in charge, as you say, sort of a decade ago, are there any other particular kind of games or particular moments that really stand out for you?
Well, we've touched on it already. The biggest one is that final game against Southend to gain promotion. The relegations are disappointing, and you want to delete them from your memory bank as such. But that game in particular, and also the game against Leyton Orient when we actually went down, and the performance we put on, and the reaction of our away supporters in that particular game, I would never forget it as well. That was a brilliant day, but unfortunately the outcome was pretty sad for the club, as we went down. But, I met some fantastic people, which I've touched on with Steve and Andy at the club, and obviously them two games stand out for me.
And I know as well, many fans obviously really appreciate what you did and during your time, as you say, and as you touched on, especially enjoyed that promotion, which was fantastic for the club.
And it was, yeah. We assembled a real good group of players. They had that experience of getting promoted out of that league as well. And bringing Gaz in as well helped. But the players the group itself were a really tight knit group. And they worked very hard for each other to achieve that goal. And for everybody involved in that, they'll never forget that. A promotion you don't forget, and then to go into League One as a group was a good achievement at the time.
Does it feel like a long time ago? Because I was quite surprised to learn that it's a decade ago.
Well, when you look back, it's a long time ago, but it does go quickly, very, very quickly. The years roll by, clubs have highs and lows during that period of time, and wherever you are, that's what happens in this game. There's highs and lows, and you have to enjoy them highs, but as well, because the lows are probably more often than the highs. Everybody wants to get promoted, but there's a limited number of clubs that can achieve that. So the high moments are great, and you have to enjoy that.
And for those that perhaps haven't, perhaps not been following as closely, tell us a bit about what you've been doing since your time at the club.
I've been around. Let's put it like that. Currently, I'm at Cambridge as assistant head coach. So, at the moment, there's only 4 games remaining, and we've got some big games coming up in these remaining fixtures, and we've put ourselves in a real good chance of hopefully a promotion as well. But we've still got a lot of hard work to do, to get over that line. But we've put ourselves in a good position. Over that period of time, I've been at a number of clubs, but currently that's where I am at the moment, Cambridge.
So one option of permutations, if you like, you may end up facing Wycombe next season.
Yeah, we could do. I hope we don't. I hope we get promoted. But as I say, there's a lot of hard work to be done. And I hope Wycombe survive and stay in the Championship. And then we miss each other, which would be great.
And how you found the sort of the pandemic generally? Because obviously it's been tricky for many people, but it's been great that football's been able to continue at least.
It's been brilliant that the football's continued, but it's also, we've had to do it without the supporters, and it'll be great for every single football club, every single player and every single supporter when they're allowed back into grounds. We've had a couple of fixtures where we had 2,000 back in the ground, and it was just great to have that atmosphere and that noise back. But everybody misses the game, and we can't wait for supporters to return. So, the game needs supporters. That's a massive part. It's a massive part that we've missed.
I was going to say that's been a real shame, hasn't it? Especially for Wycombe fans who the majority of which have not seen their team in the Championship. As you touched on, there were a couple of test events, but it's been such a shame that the majority have been missed, especially for sort of season ticket holders and long-term fans as well, who've obviously waited a long time to see Wycombe in the second tier. So hopefully they can stay up, or if not, bounce back very quickly.
But it's a great shame, to achieve promotion to the Championship is fantastic, and I'm not so sure that you had the open top bus type of thing, so you could celebrate with the crowd and the supporters, and even the games, the big games that are in the Championship. Everybody's missed out on that, and hopefully the club can survive and you can have that next year. But if that doesn't happen, what a great pity and shame that is for all the supporters and fans that have waited for God knows how many years to try and get to that level, and could miss out on it.
No, definitely. I think it really stood out as well when we had Tottenham in the FA Cup as well, and that was, you're watching on TV thinking, if only fans could have been there for that game.
Well, exactly, and it's really sad, but it's a situation that we're in, and lives and health is more important than anything else at this moment in time, and that had to be done. But it's a great shame that the supporters have missed out on that.
Well, it's been really fantastic to speak to you. Thank you so much for your time, and obviously all the best with your own promotion campaign as well.
No, thank you, and good luck to Wycombe as well going forward.
Really nice to speak to Gary and to have the opportunity. I started off by telling him that I first came across him as a football sticker, which he thought was quite funny. when he was at QPR and I was collecting, I think it was Football 87, I think it was.
Yes, I had Football 87.
Did you? So
the Football 87 was the last one that I collected, so it sort of...
I think for some reason, a lot of the QPR... I seem to get a lot of QPR quite early. So I remember, I think it was Ian Dawes, got him. Trying to think who else was there at that time. Mike Fillery.
Because I'm speaking to you at home, I've got it somewhere.
Oh, have you? Oh, that'd be quite exciting.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a look now to see if
get it by the end of the show.
Yes, okay.
I might have told this before, but Mike, this is a slight diversion, but Mike Fillery was the manager when I played in a Media 11 team against Beaconsfield and we lost 18-0.
You played in a Media 11 team?
I know, well I was a sub.
When was this?
Oh, about... crikey. Probably about 15 years ago, maybe more.
Wow.
But yeah,
Are you more famous than any of us know at Wycombe Sound?
Yeah, infamous, I think. The best thing about it was the free buffet afterwards.
Oh, okay.
There was a 20-minute period in the second half where we didn't concede. That was good as well.
Oh, that's quite impressive. So which position did you play?
Well, I was going to say I dominated midfield, but not a lot of the action was in midfield, to be honest. It's mostly in our goal area.
You just watched the ball going over your
Exactly,
head.
Yeah. So I was a sub. I was brought on towards the end, sort of an impact player, or had very little impact. And...
Did you try and put off sort of the opposing players when it was like a corner or something like that?
What was really funny is that I was on the bench. There was obviously several of us, and there was a guy I think from the Slough Observer, and he was just reading his own paper during the game. I don't think Mike Fillery was particularly impressed with that.
So the Media 11, it wasn't sort of, I think when you say Media 11, we're imagining that maybe you played alongside Terry Wogan and Chris Tarrant, but it wasn't quite that.
No, it was more sort of Bucks Free Press and people like that.
All right. Okay. Not quite as exciting, but still very impressive.
Terry Wogan.
Well, you never know. I can't really see Terry. I don't think he was a footballer particularly.
Not especially, no. But although you could say that about some of the people that were in the team as well. But no, really brilliant to speak to Gary Waddock as well, and especially to hear him talk about bringing Gareth in as well.
Did your opponents know that actually that it was going to be made up of people from the Bucks Free Press and
oh yeah, it was all for charity. I think they just laughed.
15 years ago, so what would that have been? Would that have been 1170 or Swan FM or something like that?
Yes, I think it was Mix 107, or it might have been Swan FM, but yeah, it was probably called that then. But yeah, no, I had the little
Was it a bit like that scene in the Porridge film? And I'm going way back now, and I know that there's not going to be many people. Or not,
the references have gone a bit.
Exactly. Well, the younger listeners will have no idea. But in the Porridge film, where then the prisoners are playing a team of celebrities,
are you exactly like that? Yeah.
And as the celebrities then get off the coach, they're really disappointed to see that actually the caliber of celebrity is not very good. And
that's exactly right.
I think one of them, I think it might be Ronnie Barker, but I can't remember. One of them says the line, "Which one's the goodie?"
Yes,
and that always has stayed with me. Which one's the goodie?
So I remember we've gone a bit off topic now, but we came closest to scoring from a free kick.
3 games to go.
And I think, if I'm right, it was Ian Stringer who went on to be in The Apprentice. And and is now on the radio.
Man who can't even say the word loser.
I think that's him.
I think that was his clip from The Apprentice, wasn't it?
That's right. And now he's a reporter on the radio doing covering Leicester.
Yes,
regularly speaking to Brendan Rodgers and asking him things like...
Oh, that's right. Yes, it's him.
Asking him if he's had a nice Sunday roast and that sort of...
Yes, he makes out he's Brendan Rodgers' really good friend.
Yes.
Yes. not quite like the Moose, but a bit.
No, exactly. Very similar. Yeah, in that.
Yes.
Yeah. So we sort of wandered off topic, haven't we? But as I say, fantastic to hear from Gary, and the fact that he brought in Gareth, having known him previously as well, and knew what he was like, and predicted that he'd be the next manager. That
was so impressive, and that was a really, really lovely anecdote to share. That actually, he clearly knew straight away that yes, this person has got management material, and absolutely right, and look how right he was.
Still to come on the Wycombe Wanderers show this week. Bob's off to find his Football 87 sticker album.
Yes, I am.
And we'll hear from Andy
Akinfenwa
as well.
This is Wycombe Sound.
It's the final part of the Wycombe Wanderers show. In live research, Bob has located his sticker album.
I have.
Albums, as it turns out.
Indeed, yes. So I have all of them from Football 82 through to Football 87. Football 87 with Andy Gray on the front in his Aston Villa kit.
I had that kit as well. That was one of my first kits.
So hang on. So you wanted me to look at the QPR page?
Yes.
Who am I looking for?
Just other members of the team that Gary Waddock would have played with. I think it was Ian Dawes, Mike Fillery.
I can see. Yeah. So Ian
Paul Barron in goal.
Ian Dawes is here. David Seaman was.
Oh really?
In 80. So should I have a look in 86? Do you think is that the one you might be thinking of?
Perhaps. Is Gary Waddock in 87 as well then?
I can't see him actually.
Oh, perhaps it is 86 then.
Right, okay, alright, hang on.
Live on the radio. Bob looks
83.
Through. It's either probably 86. Have you got 86? I think.
Here we go, 86.
Has that got Chelsea's Paul Cannavale on the front?
How on earth do you remember all of this?
I don't know. I've got
Brian Talbot.
Yes.
In an Arsenal kit.
I've got a very big head, so I think my brain must be enormous. There's a huge capacity in there.
Who wrote the message inside Football 86 welcoming you to the sticker album?
I guess, and this might be 85, but I think it was Don Howe.
No.
Oh, no. That might be 85
then. Very famous Manchester United player.
Bobby Charlton.
Yes, very good. Right, okay, hang on, I'm flicking through.
We've got time, that's right.
It always works well on radio going
yes.
albums, doesn't it?
QPR, probably in the middle, weren't they? QPR, Arsenal, Villa.
Here we go, Queen's Park Rangers.
This is award-winning stuff.
Oh yes, there he is, Gary Waddock.
Yes, that's where I first came across him.
And do you know who he's next to?
Mike Fillery?
No, he's next to another
Terry Fenwick.
Another former Wycombe Wanderers manager.
QPR. Come on, brain.
Come on, brain.
John Gregory.
Yes, indeed.
This is top fun, isn't it? Can we do this every week?
We'll go through a different Panini football.
Who else is there? Terry Fenwick?
Yes, Terry Fenwick's there.
Paul Barron in goal.
John Gregory. Peter Hucker.
Oh, of course, Peter Hucker. Who else?
Ian Dawes. Gary Chivers, Steve Wicks, Mike Fillery, Michael Robinson, Gary Bannister, John Byrne.
That's right.
Wayne Faraday and Robbie James.
Hey, that's them. Yes. Have you got them all? Have you collected? Have you completed QPR?
Oh yes, yeah. Oh no, I've completed the whole thing.
Really?
Oh yes.
Oh, that is impressive.
Oh, I took my football albums very seriously.
Yeah, as you should.
Yeah, it's just a disappointing that obviously Wycombe aren't in
of course
86.
What a brilliant bit of live research that was.
Non-league football albums.
So yes, back to the reason we're here. Back to last night. It was only last night, wasn't it? I nearly said Tuesday night. Brilliant performance against Manchester City, but of course Adebayo Akinfenwa, man of the...
Brilliant performance against who?
What did I say? Manchester City.
You said Manchester City.
I meant Bristol City.
That would have been really, really impressive. Goodness me, people tuning in now thinking that Wycombe have beaten Manchester City. Of course, Wycombe have beaten Manchester City previously.
Yes, we're reflecting all times in this programme.
Is it now? We only need to beat 3. We've only got 3 remaining Premier League champions that I think we haven't now beaten.
Oh, really?
I think that's correct.
Look at the stats coming out in this programme.
So we've beaten Manchester City. We've beaten Blackburn. I think of course we've beaten Leicester.
Yep. This is very exciting stuff. None of this was planned. This is all very spontaneous.
Come on, help me out here. So hang on. So who have we got left? So Liverpool, we haven't beaten them.
No.
Manchester United. Don't think we've ever played them, have we?
I don't recall
Arsenal.
it.
And Chelsea.
Yes, we'll have a think about it anyway. Shall we hear from Adebayo Akinfenwa? You were there.
Yes, that's a good idea. Yes. Very importantly, Adebayo Akinfenwa speaking sort of to Phil Catchpole and to the general assorted people who were around at the time. So Phil is there. I'm there. I think James from the Bucks Free Press was around. Pete Coohig's around, and Matt Cecil. And I think David Stockdale makes an appearance as well at some point, possibly.
The goal came in the Championship. It was never in doubt. It was just when it was going to happen. How did it feel?
Nah, listen, cliche. It's going to sound cliche, but it was a beautiful feeling. And then to get the 3 points, to keep hope alive. And listen, Gaffer's been saying week in, week out, look, pull it all out there and see what happens. So to be able to continue the momentum with the win, this is a beautiful feeling. But the greatest, I don't think you lot clocked in the changing room there. The boys give me a standing ovation like it was my debut, like I was 19 and I was laughing. I was like, you boys know I'm going to be 39, you know. But that's just what this club is about. It was a first. And I ain't had a first since I was 19. So it's a beautiful feeling. I won't lie to you, it's a beautiful feeling. But it was 3 points as well. And it was at Adams Park. Good feeling, man.
Penalty was given. Jacobson was on the pitch. You know, it was only going to be you, or maybe Stockdale was going to take it.
Yeah. To be fair, like Stockdale, give me the eyes. No, but JJ said to me a couple games ago. To be fair, a little while, he said, "Listen, B, if we get a penalty late on in the game and you want to take it, I'll be up for allowing you to take it." And I did. I asked him. I was like, "You good with me taking it?" And I got a shout out to JJ because he is our penalty taker, and it was the last minute of the game, and he was like, "Listen, B, like I'll back you. If you want to take it, take it." So I was like, "All right, cool." And then listen, the rest was history. I was able to put it in the back of the net, and then listen, you saw it felt like we had fans here, and that's just for me what the most humbling was that how excited everybody had a bigger smile than me, and I was trying to keep it in like I was cool and that, but you know I was smiling on the inside, but everybody had a bigger smile than me, and I'm talking about from the kit man down to our CEO, down to our press man. Everybody had a big ass smile, and that means a lot for me. Do you know what I'm saying? So I am humbled.
You nearly got one from open play. It was a great save by Dan Bentley. Is it ever crossed your mind this season? You think, I might not get this goal?
Yeah, man, I ain't gonna lie, it did, man. And especially then, because I was moving like a young Messi. You know what I'm saying? Why are you not laughing at me? You know
that was beast.
Yeah, say nothing there. You know, little twinkle toes and that. No, but when he pulled it, I was thinking, oh Lord. To me, sometimes you just got to chuckle. And at that time, I was thinking, oh, again. But listen, at the same time, listen, if it didn't come, I wouldn't have allowed it to beseech my career. But like anything, you want to be able to say, listen, that every league I played in, I was able to score, and tonight I was able to do that.
38 years old, injury time penalty winner. Football's had a bit of stick this week. You spent most of your career in the lower leagues. This is where the heartbeat is, isn't it?
Come on now. To be fair, the fans spoke about it anyway, about this silly ass Super League that they was trying to do. This is where football's at, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you just got to keep it. This is, I always say, this is real football. Me and Pete be chatting about this constantly. This is real football. So it was a beautiful way to end the week. Oh well, it's not ended, is it? It's Wednesday. Well, you know what I mean.
6 points off safety, 9 points left to play for. This is on, isn't it?
Come on now. Listen, if you know Wycombe, yeah, would trust me, we're going to be swinging in every game, and you already know our gaffer. He exuberates energy and belief, and look, that's what we're built on. So listen, we're going to go into Cardiff and we're going to swing, and then we're going to go to Bournemouth and we're going to swing, and we're going to go to Middlesbrough and we're going to swing, and then come the end of it, we'll see where we're at.
There's some big clubs down there with you. What's the message to them?
Watch out. Plain and simple.
Congratulations, mate.
Thank
Pleasure.
you, brother. Phil, blessings, my brother. Yeah. Cool, man.
Really nice to hear from Adebayo Akinfenwa on the show.
He's such a nice guy. He really is. And he had, I know he was saying that he wasn't, that everyone else was smiling more than him, but he did have a big grin on his face.
But he's always like that, isn't he? Well, whenever you see him, certainly, I imagine, behind closed doors, perhaps he's just not so much. You imagine he probably is.
He's lovely because he's one of those people who, he just brings the energy and he puts a smile on your face automatically when you are sort of in his presence. He is one of those lovely people. He's just so positive and so such a nice guy, and so pleased for him that he did manage to get the goal. Again, clearly it meant a lot, but at the same time he would have been fine if he hadn't got it. But it's really nice that he did. Really nice of JJ as well to say, all right,
absolutely,
go on, you take the penalty.
Very sporting.
Yeah, because I had hoped that this situation would happen, but I sort of assumed that maybe it might happen had we already been, say, 2-0 up or something like that, which I know has happened very often this season. But that I was imagining that sort of scenario that, say we'd got a penalty towards the end of the game away at Rotherham. That's when maybe I thought, the Bale will take the penalty. But obviously, last night, completely crunch moment. And yes, Bayo steps up. But of course, he did that. Of course, it was his very last act for AFC Wimbledon before he joined us. He scored in the penalty shootout in the League Two playoff final.
And you've got some very interesting stats to share with us about him as well.
Yes, so Bayo at Wycombe Wanderers now played 188 games, scoring 47 goals and 27 assists. Has played for over 12,000 minutes for Wycombe Wanderers. What a fantastic signing. I know I said it earlier on, but yes, when he was signed, I think some people thought that we were just really using him as a shirt seller, basically. But he really has been an absolute legend, and it would be really interesting to see going forward as well. Does he fancy another season with Wycombe Wanderers? I really hope that he does, because
it's difficult not to, but to underestimate how influential he is. Whether it's leading the huddles or just people literally bouncing off him at the end. He's such a team player and an impact player as well when he's brought on.
Yes, and that was the main overriding memory of last night, was actually full-time whistle. Everybody seemed to sprint towards Bayo. They all ran towards him, players and the coaching staff. They all wanted to go and celebrate with him. You've already heard the celebrations that then took place, and that was just lovely. You can just see what a popular guy he is for the whole club. And as you rightly say, that's both on and off the pitch. He brings so much to the team, so much desire, so much belief, so much purpose. If he's not with us next season, we will very much miss him.
And just talk us through where your swingometer of optimism is currently, because I know in the previous weeks with fans and with us as well, it's been 1 minute we're down, now we're still doing it, now we're still fighting.
A tough road to hoe.
Yeah.
That very much. I mean, I'm not getting too excited, and I don't want to jinx anything. We have 3 games to go. The fact that we are still in with a chance with 3 games to go is absolutely fantastic. The fact that we're playing Cardiff, who now can't get into the playoffs, so they are quite happily in mid-table. That's a positive. The fact that we've got to play Middlesbrough, obviously, who are in the same situation. Neither of these games are going to be easy. Playing a side managed by Mick McCarthy or Neil Warnock, never going to be easy games. But we clearly are one of the form teams currently. And if anyone can do it, Wycombe Wanderers can do it. I think the one slightly awkward team that we have there are Bournemouth, who are clearly on a fantastic run at the moment. Possibly by the time that we play them, they might have already cemented their place in the playoffs, which would be a good thing. But at the same time, when you're going into the playoffs, you do want that momentum to continue. So I think that's going to be the tough one. But at the same time, you could say, well, maybe we only need now 2 wins and a draw. That would be enough. But yeah, let's not get too excited. As Gareth keeps saying, he's very much focused on the future. He wants to manage Wycombe Wanderers in the Championship again, for the fans who haven't been able to see them this season. Whether that happens next season or in a future season, let's wait and see.
It sounds like such an obvious thing to say, but I think that what makes this exciting is that you don't know what's going to happen, and you can't sort of call what's going to happen.
No, at all. You can't. I definitely couldn't call last night. I couldn't call the Swansea game either. I've absolutely no idea what is going to happen in these last 3 games. But this is what it's like supporting Wycombe Wanderers. This is why it's such a fantastic club to support. This is why we love them.
Do enjoy, hopefully, the remainder of the season. I don't know if enjoy is quite the right word. You might have no nails left by the end of it. But it sounds fantastic. 3 games to go. Join us next week on the Wycombe Wanderers show. We'll be hearing from the manager, of course, continuing our series of former player chats as well, and lots more to look forward to too. Don't forget, if you have missed it, if you missed this, perhaps you've tuned in now and just thought, that's only quite good. I only caught the end of the football sticker references. There's a podcast version of the show for you to check out where you normally get your podcasts from. Enjoy that as well. Lots to listen to and catch up on.
Which one's the goodie?